Good evening, Oxnard. I'm Oxnard Police Department Community Affairs Manager Paul Carganilla, and for the next few hours here on the Facebook and Instagram stories, I'm going to take you on a little ride along with an officer or two. Briefing starts at 6 p.m. and come along with us. We are off to our first call. This evening we're beginning our ride along with Officer Matthew Gray, and we'll be in Beat 32. I'll share a map of Beat 32. Officer Gray is a 4-year veteran of the department.
That is correct.
And has worked patrol in those 4 years. Any other assignments?
No, that's it, just patrol. I like to help out where I can, whether it's doing a traffic overtime or being available to whoever.
All right, we're headed to our first call. Just wrapped up our first call for service. Obviously, due to the sensitive nature of domestic disputes, I did not follow the officers into the house. I don't want to give away too many details, but was it a happy ending at least?
It was happy ending. Kids were involved, so we did what was best for the kids, and the kid is going to be doing all right for the night, taken care of well.
Great, and we're on our way to call for service number 2 for the evening. What is this?
This one sounds like it's a dispute between two people. It's a suspicious circumstances call. We don't really know what's going on, so we're going to go there and figure it out. So this call ended up being a child custody agreement dispute between the mother and the father. Father's supposed to have the child this week, and mother decided not to let him have the kids. So we gave him some information on how to document it on his end to make things easier for him moving forward, and maybe possibly go talk to a judge about amending the agreement. So that was it.
This call for service was regarding a subject who is threatening with a firearm from a vehicle. Upon arrival, the vehicle is gone. The caller is no longer here and does not wish to make a report. Officer Gray is making notes.
Still being independently on the railroad track, 5th and right, everything else.
Thankfully, the subject that was laying on the tracks was okay, yeah?
He was okay. We just asked him to leave, and he picked up his things and he bounced.
Obviously, anytime that happens, dispatch has to contact the railroad and make sure that no trains are coming through. So that we contacted Union Pacific and made sure they held any trains until the subject was invited to exit the area of the tracks and accepted the invitation. Happy ending! Okay, we've got a lot of questions, so I might have to answer most of them tomorrow because we got to wrap this up pretty soon. But how many calls do you go to on an average shift?
Typically I go between 10 and 20 a night. A good night. I think the most I've ever answered is about 50 calls in one night, but that was on like a New Year's night or a 4th of July. Those are usually really busy.
But I've only been with you for 2 hours and you've been to 6 calls. So.
Got a long night ahead of us. I get off at 4 tonight.
Do we accept applications year-round?
Yes, we do accept applications year-round.
But the important thing is we're hiring right now. If you're interested in a career in law enforcement, head over to joinoxnardpd.com and apply. Our next written tests are in February. And that last question kind of segues into this one. Do you need a degree from school to become a police officer?
No, you do not need a degree.
Currently.
At
the current time, right now, you do not need a degree. It does help though, right?
It does. So apply today.
Apply today, joinoxnardpd.com. We were unable to locate the nude subject in the parking lot. On to call 8. What is call 8?
We are going to a call of a subject who is inside of a bathroom in a business for the last hour and has been unresponsive. We also have EMS arriving on scene with us as well.
Well, that call sounded like it could have been really bad, but there was a happy ending.
The subject was fine and he walked away.
He was okay. Great. Well, we were planning on doing this till about 9 o'clock. It's after 10 now, so we're going to head back to the station. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this virtual ride-along, and thank you, Officer Gray, for being our host.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming along with me tonight.
We got one last question. A lot of people ask this one. Are we allowing civilians to do ride-alongs again? And yes, just head over to our website, oxnardpd.org. Find the frequently asked questions tab, and there is an application there for you to fill out. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great night. Sergeant Michael Thomas, I want to do something involved with law enforcement. What jobs are there to get my foot in the door?
We have lots of different opportunities for you to get your foot in the door here at the police department, from our Explorer program, our traffic service assistants, or even an internship. And if you want more information on any of these, please reach out to me. My phone number is 805-385-8300, or email me at michael.thomas@oxnardpt.org.
Officer Patrick Blanche, how does the academy work? Are you paid for going to the academy? Are you sent out for the academy?
Once you're employed by the city of Oxnard, you do get paid approximately $35 an hour to attend the academy. It's a full-time and full benefits hourly rate, as well as you'll be paid that for approximately 6 months until you finish the academy. Once you get out of the academy, you will be in the field training program, and then you'll continue on from there.
Officer Andy Grandy, approximately how many calls do you receive on an average shift?
On average shift, you could go anywhere between probably, I'd say, 10 to 20 calls. Kind of varies on the time of year, day of the week, and time you work.
Officer Shantae Davis, if an officer has the overnight shift, do they ride with a partner?
No, we do not ride two-man. However, majority of the calls that you go to, you'll have a backup officer there with you as well.
Detective Haley Navarro, are women officers needed?
Yes, we always need more female officers in law enforcement.
How many days do you work in an average week?
So at the Oxnard Police Department in patrol, you work a 3-day week, and your shifts are all 12 and a half hours long.
Does one bankruptcy affect your chance on getting hired as a police officer?
Although financial responsibility is important, we look at each candidate as a whole and what they bring to the table. So one bankruptcy in itself most likely will not disqualify you for being a police officer.
What is your favorite thing about being in law enforcement?
I like working with the Oxnard Police Department because it feels like a family and team setting. I like meeting people out in public and helping them. People have different stories and different ways that you can help them. And it's all challenging and it feels really good at the end of the day.
What do you do while there's no calls for service?
Well, typically it's very rare that an officer is not busy handling calls for service. When an officer's not busy handling calls for service, it gives us the availability to be proactive in our community and address a lot of the issues going on with the community that we typically get complaints about.
What if I expunge my misdemeanors? Can I still pursue something with law enforcement?
There is a possibility. The Oxnard Police Department, the hiring managers take into account everything in regards to the individual. There are certain misdemeanors that may disqualify you from being hired, but you won't know until you try.
What's some good advice for someone that wants to pursue a career in law enforcement?
So to be in law enforcement, one of the main things we do is talk to people on a daily basis. So if you can practice your customer service skills, work in a job in retail or something to that effect where you're interacting with people on a daily basis, that would definitely help you. Staying physically fit and active is something that we look for as well. Attending the academy can be very difficult mentally and physically, so staying physically and mentally ready is a plus. Lastly, just make good choices and follow the law.
How many police officers are out in the field at any given time?
Typically, each patrol shift starts with anywhere between 10 and 12 officers. So at the height in the middle of the day, given numerous assignments across the board, you can have anywhere from 20 to 30 officers out in the field at one point during the day.
In order for you to become an officer, what does your medical history need to look like in your vision?
So the California Government Code sets out the guidelines and the requirements of the level of fitness. For more information regarding that, please go to the California Peace Officers and Standards of Training website and check it out.
Do you need to have a degree in criminal justice or experience to be able to join?
No, you don't need to have a degree in criminal justice to join the Oxnard Police Department or any law enforcement agency, in the state of California. I do always recommend a good college background. It is a very competitive career, but once you get hired, you go through a 6-month academy and then enter your field training before being a solo officer.
If I'm 19, is it possible, and how can I start my career at OPD?
Yeah, absolutely. At 19, you can be hired at the Oxnard Police Department. Unfortunately, you do have to be 21 years old to be a police officer. However, there's endless opportunities within the Oxnard Police Department family, anywhere from community service officers to traffic service assistants, and even if you want to work in our dispatch call center. So 19, you can get your career started.